Welcome to another Tech Your Business episode. This is an entrepreneur episode, and on this episode, we're talking about something I really wanted to be on this podcast. Today, we have an entrepreneur, Kami K. Kami K makes bulletproof clothing for everybody. And I asked her, is it really bulletproof? And she said, yes. And that's what we want to talk about the podcast today, how she uses tech to grow the business, how she uses tech to promote the business, how she uses tech to run it, and the tech that makes everyday clothing bulletproof. So welcome to the Tech Your Business podcast, Kami.
Thank you so much, Peter. I'm so happy to be here. And yeah, tech, like we've talked about, is a huge. I mean, it's a passion of mine, of course, and I think you need to be able to work with it to make any business survive nowadays.
Definitely. Else you just be
Mm,
left behind totally.
mm, for
Yeah.
real,
So
for real.
so now what actually led you to start making bulletproof clothing?
So well, I grew up in the States, so I'm American. I was born in Detroit, but raised in Pittsburgh.
Oh,
So yeah, I grew up, yeah, that alone.
I do.
So that's one reason. No, but we grew up doing active shooter drills in school, stuff like this, and that really, when I was growing up, I'm 25 now. When I was growing up, that was like a really big thing. And when I'm talking to people who are maybe 40 plus, that they didn't have that, so it's been a
Yeah.
big change. And big change in the US when it comes to these things. And I've experienced a lot with like gun violence, and I've lost friends to gun violence. So I think, there's a huge market need for um, this types of clothing for people to feel safe and for it to not be presented as just a bulletproof vest. I think if we implement it into clothes, people feel a bit more comfortable. Like two-in-one solutions. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. So I think we both laughed when we talked about Detroit, so I'll not say anything further after
Uh,
that.
uh,
Yeah, so now
oh my God.
you mentioned something about having clothes that are comfortable and stylish, and I think most of us are used to the usual bulletproof vest where you have this really big, bulky vest where even if you wear them on that day, gets
Mm.
huge and everything. But now, talking about something that's stylish, comfortable, that means it should be light, it should look good on like the normal bulletproof
Mm.
vest. And what tech challenges have you encountered trying to make that work?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, a lot. So my luckily it's not just me who's doing this. I have a huge company or production in Finland actually. So that's where we produce the clothes. And they have a huge, R&D team
Oh,
where I'm like I come with these crazy ideas and
yeah,
they
I
are like
stress them.
yeah, okay, great. So, but they have been serving, militaries all over the world for the last 25 years. So they can handle it. They have two factories there. So I mean, I would say the challenge is um the technology that we use is or like material that we use is 40% lighter than Kevlar, which in the
Oh,
US is what most police officers have. So that's what allows it to be more flexible and stuff. But I would say like, you know, iterations on I have these scarves that are slash proof,
mm-hmm.
and
Mm.
when we were designing, I was like, people need to be able to style them, they need to be easy to wear. So how thick should the slash proof material be? Should the whole thing be slash proof so it can also be used, in other things? But I would say I would say just like really, really getting it as light as possible, and as like everyday solution as possible. We're big tech challenges, and I mean also with like the website. I mean, I did a bit of front end in school and a little bit of coding and stuff like that. But I mean, look, I mean, I have been using AI so much, and everything. Like it's my, fourth employee, basically. But I mean, the website was also like needed a lot of iterations and stuff like that too.
Yeah, I think we all have that sentiment with AI. I think AI has been my fastest promoted employee that doesn't
Oh
complain.
yeah. No, exactly, exactly. That's the best part. I love that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So now, looking through getting this idea first of all, growing up, going through the shooting drills and everything, and actually getting a final prototype. I know you mentioned that you have a company in Finland doing it, manufacturing
Mm.
them for you. But what steps did you have to go through? What challenges did you have to go through? How difficult was it getting from that point of idea to
Mm.
a slash proof
Mm.
scarf?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, that's why I think one of your trademarking episodes was so e- special and important to me because I invented that scarf, and I'm
Hmm.
like, yeah, I qualify as an inventor. It's not
Wow.
just like, oh, it's this new product. It's like, and through talking to many, trademark lawyers, like, okay. Um, so the challenges are like, how much time do we have? It's insane. I'm an American, living in Sweden, producing in Finland, shipping back to the States. Like logistics are hilarious. I mean, so trying to figure out the easiest way to send, you know, what I want to Finland. I need to go to Finland anytime, we have something new, so I can like put my stamp of approval on it. And I have not been driving there, so I've had like really funny stories of me like walking through the snow with my suitcase, and my prototypes in my suitcase are like, I'm dragging them through the snow, and I'm thinking like, I actually was like, the first person who calls me lucky is like, no, it's not gonna happen because I have fought so hard for this. It's crazy. I've traveled 40 hours, to be in the office for 30 minutes just to
Wow.
like check on my prototypes before I can export them. So I mean, I would say logistics is one of the biggest challenges with products. That's just I have been my background's in like services perhaps. Like I used to work in social media and stuff like that, and like I'm used to like services, but like products is another beast. It really is.
Nice. I think okay. So I think if the trademark episode should be episode 119, where we talked about it
Okay.
just mentioned your story being from one place, producing another place, shipping to another place, and it's a story a lot of us these days, since the world is becoming a
Mm,
global village. It's a story a lot of us face and, and,
mm.
and are familiar with. Yeah. So now, I think another thing it would be before you started. At what point did you validate the market need for your products? Was it before you started knowing with the shooting drills and co, people would want that, or was it after you
Mm.
started producing? Yeah, at what point did you validate it?
Well, the thing is, what's one really good thing about my position is that I have a lot of competitors. And that's actually, I think, a really good thing, a proof of market, proof
Yeah,
that oh, wow, they're like huge $1 million companies, multi-million-dollar companies in the States who are killing this, but the things that they are not good at, I am good at. Like marketing and making it look good and
good.
storytelling and stuff like this. Like they are probably really reliant on like government and military deals, which are great. But I think there's so much need from, you know, turning on the news. I think like every teacher in America should have one of these. So I did a lot of interviews like a little bit before and during prototyping with teachers and, security companies, a lot of market research like that, but also just like desktop research of validating the idea and then also getting the product in front of the consumer as soon as possible. Like not I've gotten like really really horrible business advice from some people where I'm like, as an entrepreneur, like I need to do it yesterday. Like it needs to be
Yeah.
done yesterday. And I got told like, no, you should do R&D for like 2 years, and you should get investors in now. And I'm like, you know what? I haven't even that was before I launched. And it's just so funny like that I mean, all you have to look at, it was hard with the research because you couldn't really look at who was buying bulletproof vests because of
Hmm.
course that works, and that's something that I should look at, but it's more about like how many school shootings are happening, how many um people are buying guns, how many more people are what are the mass shootings in the last 5 years. Like I had to look at more of this stuff than just like Googling how many people buy or what is the personal protective equipment growth for the next 10 years. Like I had to look at society instead, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Mm,
Interesting. And I think I've noticed this with a lot of innovations. You tend to have people who are outside the industry making the biggest impact because you bring out that innovation. Like you said, you have the marketing part, you have the storytelling part, things like that. You add them
mm,
to the design parts, and you now bring out something
mm,
that people actually love and want. And I've seen
mm,
that happen a lot of times in a lot of industries too.
mm, mm. It's fun. I mean, like, yes, I've gotten so much questions and feedback, and I mean, feedback is like, yeah, you need feedback, you need iterations to make something amazing, but at some point, you also just need to believe in what you're doing and go forward regardless. And
Yeah.
with the recent like loss of Brian Thompson, the United Healthcare CEO
Oh
who got
yeah.
shot in New York, like we could have saved his life, for example, with um, the bullet that was used and the place where he got shot. We could have stopped that. So I think this is a really like I'm that's the validation for me, you know,
Yeah.
is knowing that we could have like saved lives already. It's just like, okay, we can save the next person's life instead.
Yeah. So I
So
think
it's
that
crazy.
yeah. So that brings me to something. This the United CEO's murder recently. You mentioned that you could have saved his life with the bullet used and the place he got shot. And I think that brings me to the effectiveness of this bulletproof clothing compared to the
Mm,
usual Kevlar vest people wear. So what how will you compare
mm,
the effectiveness
mm.
of it?
Of course. So our clothes are NIJ certified, which is National Institute of Justice, has its
Mm,
own in the US has its own standard of bulletproof or ballistic wear. And our all of our hoodies and all of our products right now are NIJ 3A, and it goes up. There are different levels, right? So these are still soft armor, which means a
mhm,
bit flexible, lightweight, but it can stop most bullets up until like rifles,
mhm.
with a couple of exceptions, of course. So yes, this is not any gun. And then it goes into so many different levels of like there are bombs, there are like so many other ways of like attacking that this protects most handguns
Mhm.
is NIJ 3A level of certification, but there are different ones. And I mean with the with my manufacturing, I mean we could make hard plates. So if there is a need for that, we they have literally everything. So
Yeah.
if that will be longer, down the road, like if we need higher higher protection, but for most civilians, this will work, for them.
Amazing. Yeah,
Mm.
and I think at the end, when you look at it at the end of the day, most attacks might be carried out with handguns because rifles you can't really hide them easily. So
No, exactly. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, unfortunately, most school shootings are with rifles, like
Oh,
statistically. So we need to be designing for that in school settings,
yeah,
but in normal civilian, like even, Brian Thompson, like that we could have stopped that for sure.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so it's crazy.
Amazing. So now, you mentioned earlier using AI, especially with your websites, in addition to your coding and front end knowledge. So, how much do you use AI? I know I mentioned earlier that it's my fastest promoted
Uh,
employee.
I love that. I love that, and no, basically all day, every day.
Wow.
Like we're best friends. No, but I mean, ChatGPT, of course, is um amazing, and I use it a lot for like strategy or like copy. I'm not a good copywriter at all. My background is in like visual branding. And I was a
Mm.
hairdresser before that. So anything visual, I'm really good, but copy, I'm horrible. It's so that yeah, that's tough. I mean, and when I see a great copywriter, I'm actually interviewing one right now, and I really need one as well. Like this is a really important thing to communicate verbally.
Yeah.
Um, uh, but yeah, I mean, I use that. I use AI a lot. I mean, I've played with Midjourney a bit in the branding as well. Again, visual, but I mm, it's good. But I think in the beginning, it was really important to show the actual product. People need to see the actual product, and
Yes.
I'm kind of like curious on how it will be with like false advertising in the future, because I've met insanely great prompters. I mean, literally the top 50 in the world prompters. Like Stockholm is a huge tech hub, so like, and they get access to all of these programs before anybody else does, and they're like affiliates basically, and like they're prompting amazing things for like Nike or Adidas or these huge brands that are using AI now for visuals. But I'm like, that is not the shoe. It can look exactly like the shoe, but in the US, the advertising is like you cannot. It needs to be in the ad, the mascara, the anything that you're advertising. So um, it'll be interesting to see where that goes.
True. Really true. I think the AI tools just get better and better and better each day.
Mm,
Better each day.
yeah,
So now,
it's a
so
beast.
now, now looking at marketing, I know we've talked about your product and building the product and co. So talking about marketing, how
Mm.
has tech helped you get the word out about your products, get people to
Mm.
know about your products and things like that?
Yeah, so many ways. Quite like AI is quite good at research. So I think, creating personas, anything from, creating personas to researching where are my clients, what is their contact info, what's the best way to reach them, all of that, has been insanely helpful to me and my sales team. So like that like targeting, Meta is really good at targeting. I mean, they used to be better when it was more specific, I think. But now with like so many GDPR laws,
Yeah,
it's less, it's more general, I think. Is
yeah.
what I've realized, but still very good. I mean, still the best in the world. You're gonna use it. So I'd say like yeah, like targeted like data. Like the data is so important to what we do, and if you don't have data, you can't reach people, I don't think. Yeah.
Okay, so now I think still on the marketing, how do you sell your products? Do you have do you sell them through your website or through a marketplace platform or through wholesalers?
hmm So we're working on relationships with retailers right now.
Hmm.
So if you think that anybody listening thinks that this product could fit in their store, just reach out. But absolutely, we work with like affiliates, and like AKA influencers, in
Hmm.
self-defense, which is great. And then, yeah, of course, we sell our products like on the website. And I'm going to the States right now, in a week, to officially launch. So we'll be at some trade shows and stuff like that, like selling in person as well.
Okay, so I think that's I always ask this question because I know I asked it once from a guest, and they had their product on Amazon and their website, and they were like, they prefer it on Amazon because the website takes a lot of work to make sales on
Yeah.
there. Yeah, but I think you just mentioned one
Mm,
thing no one has mentioned, which is using influencers and affiliates. I hear that a lot. I've not really met anyone who uses it. So how is that working for you? Um,
mm.
yeah.
They they are so good at selling. Or no, it depends who. There's some that are really bad at selling, and there's some that are really good at selling. Um, but I have some people in my network who also have fashion companies, and that's
Oh.
basically all they do. Like
Hmm.
they barely sell. They don't advertise. They give products out, and it's insane. And they're doing really really well. So that's big. I don't know if that's just big in Stockholm, but it works. And like micro to macro influencers, micro influencers have been converting better.
Hmm.
In a lot of cases, it's really interesting. But no, like they're great. There are a lot of, it depends, but people are, the thing is like most people need to have at least 8 touch points with your brand before
Yeah.
buying. They either need to know, interact, anything with it. And the people that, there's like a very small percentage of people who don't need that. The rest do.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they trust influencers. Like they see them, sometimes more than they see their family, for example, like, their extended family. So they really trust them. And like consumers really trust influencers. Usually they are the ones showing up, on their page every single day, reminding them like, I'm here, I'm doing this, usually giving a lot of value. So I mean, I think those are a couple of reasons why influencer marketing works now, still in 2025. Um, yeah.
Nice. So now, I think you mentioned earlier about data, how important data is, especially when you're advertising and co. Well, now, and we've talked about it a couple of times how important data is, especially when using things like AI, because it's big on.
Mm.
There's something to say if the wrong data is put in, the wrong data will come, the wrong answers will come out. So now, looking at
Yeah.
your product, how do you use this data you gather from your adverts, from client feedback, from everywhere to improve your products?
Mm. I mean, if you don't listen to the data or the feedback, you should like close your business right now, probably, and walk away. So I think with like iterations, I've like designed like what would the customer rather have? For example, we've gone through iterations of the material of the hoodies or of the t-shirts, and I've just like 100% decided that they need to be 100% cotton, for example, because at least for the hoodies and for the men's shirts, because we're selling in like Texas and really warm climates. So I mean, that's like one iteration, like feedback that like, okay, that's a non-negotiable now. And for data, like again, you have to look at what is surrounding. Like you cannot look at like the obvious.
Yeah.
So the research that I've done and the data that I've collected is like tells me that there's such a need for this product right now, and that people, if you just turn on the news, are like looking to feel more safe, you know. Um, and yeah, as far as like the e-commerce side of it, there are some pages on my website that have been crap. Nobody wants to be here for more than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That's that's crazy. Why is that happening? So I also have like studied like UX. So like the user journey needs to be like very obvious on what they need to do and what are they looking for whenever they come to our website, and how can we make, the checkout process as easy as possible without
Mm.
being obnoxious, like without being like you feel like you're in a sales funnel or like a marketing funnel, because that's horrible. And maybe
Yeah.
I know it, but I'm so sensitive to that stuff. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so I think so coming to the end now, if you meet a business owner, or let's say a business owner is listening, and like I said before, they are in a different field, but they want to innovate in a field which is not their field, what
Mm.
advice would you give to them?
Oh my God, I love this. That's such a great question. So I've changed like a lot. I went from like hairdressing to social media to branding, marketing into bulletproof clothing. So, okay, great. I would tell them change fast and fail as soon as possible. Like,
Mm.
build your failure resume. And I was reflecting last night, like, wait, I need a bigger resume of everything that I've done and that have failed, because that brings you closer to success and hitting the lottery,
Yeah.
um, setting yourself up to be more lucky. So I would say stop thinking about it and just do it, because that feeling isn't going anywhere, most likely. And it's not that, everybody has that feeling, only you have that feeling. And that probably means that the world is like needs you to deliver whatever you're supposed to create right now. Or somebody else will do it and you'll be really bitter. That's happened to me. That's actually happened to me a lot of times, like twice, two really clear examples. So where I wanted to do this thing, very specific, and someone comes and does it. I'm like within the next 6 months. So it's either like figure out a way to do it yourself or watch somebody else to like do it. It's brutal, but it's true.
No, when you look at business, I think you just realize that almost everyone has the same experiences because what you talked about is I know back in 2018 I had an idea, March 2018 I had an idea, a very specific idea. I didn't do anything on that idea. By September that year, someone else was doing the exact thing. And when I looked back, the person actually started it around April 2018.
Ah.
So it's like
Oh my God.
it's like,
Oh,
okay, you don't
yeah.
use it, just give it to someone else that's ready. And we get that so many times. And I think one thing I've learned over time is it's going to be very painful dying with regret. So just when you have it, just do it,
Mm,
do your best. And like you said, look for, if you can't do it yourself, figure out who can help you.
mm.
But just get those ideas out.
Oh, it's a hard lesson. It's a hard lesson, but it's so true. And I mean, I'm glad that you have gone through that too, because that means if you've gone through it, then hopefully you've learned your lesson, or I had to learn my lesson twice. Okay. I don't want to do it a third time, so I guess I have to make
Honestly.
bulletproof clothing now.
Yeah. Very important. So now let's go back a bit to tech as we're going to the end. What are the
Hmm.
three most important tech tools that have helped you bring civilian to life? I know AI is one, so that should be two
Yes,
left.
let's say AI is one. Um, of tech tools. Okay, only tech. So, I would, yeah. Would you consider like data as well, or like research and
Mhm.
data? Yeah, that was
Yeah,
like, I,
maybe the tool that helps you make sense of the data.
yeah, okay. Mm. Well, there's like really boring like software that have helped. Like I use tons of softwares that have helped, but I would say like, mm, for managing a team and managing products, and our clients, like CRM. have been great.
Okay.
We
Oh,
definitely need that.
yeah.
um, and yeah, AI and social media.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
everybody loves that because it
Yeah.
just gets you next to your markets like this.
Oh, it's crazy. In the world is at your fingertips. It's insane.
Yeah. Okay, so now how do you see technology changing the technology of protective wear? How do you see it changing over the next few years?
Mm. Well, I think it's going to be a lot of new innovation. A lot. I mean, I have seen at least what gets marketed to me is a lot of like AI, like either assistants for business
Hmm.
owners that you can just buy. Like, here's, and it's so funny, they need to package it for the consumer to like understand. Here's Penny AI. She does all of your email marketing and stuff like that. I mean, I actually think that we are at the beginning of a really like a reality, not crisis, but transformation,
Yeah.
like of where anything you need to look at, you really need to take another look at it and
Mm,
see, is this real? What are the intentions behind this? Like looking digitally for what's human and what's not. Like that's going to be a huge differentiation in in the next 5 years.
yeah.
Um, but then I mean, of course, with like yeah, a humanoid. Elon Musk like swears that everyone's gonna have a robot, for themselves, which is very convenient since he created them. I mean, that's yeah, I get it. But I would throw that question right back to you. I mean, what do you think the biggest changes are going to be over the next 5 to 10 years?
Okay, I think for the protective for your protective wear, I think you already mentioned that you have materials that are like 40% that weigh 40% less than Kevlar. I think it's you have the ones that weigh much less. That'll probably
Mm,
be
mm.
like just maybe like the fabric I'm wearing and
Ah,
still be
yeah, yeah.
yeah bulletproof.
Ah,
So I think
for
yeah,
sure.
I think we should be going towards there, especially since the markets for guns is increasing. The you have the crime, you have all that's happening. So yeah, I think that
Mm,
would
mm,
over time maybe protective
mm,
wear might be a norm rather than
mm,
just it's something
mm,
you buy. It's
mm. Right,
yeah.
right.
Okay.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So now for listeners, maybe someone listening who is interested in continuing this conversation, who maybe is interested in learning from you. I think you've gotten a lot of experience from the School of Hard Knocks over time. Um, yeah. Someone interested in maybe stocking your products in their store or maybe buying your products, maybe wearing
Mm.
your products every day. What's the best way they can reach you?
So you can reach out on our websites. Of course, you have the hello@civilianco.com. We're really active on socials. We are, yeah, I'm going on a tour in the US, so I don't know when this will be released, but I will be in the States for the next couple of months.
Wow.
So I would love to, meet you, get to know you. You can also book a meeting on my calendar. So I mean, yeah, I'm quite open to having conversations about collaborations, and if you just need a little, kick in the ass, I can give you that too. No, but I think it's really fun to talk to entrepreneurs and get to know people who need this product. So
Yeah.
let's chat.
Awesome. So, hello at civilianco.com. Then the website, that should be civilianco.com. So everything will be on the show notes on the screen once this episode goes live. So everyone can connect with you. So thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for sharing your unique, innovative products today on the Tech Your Business podcast.
Thank you so much, Peter. It was amazing, and I look forward to the future. It's gonna be great. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you. And for anyone listening, you heard Cami. She's had the experience 2 times. I've had the experience clearly once. If you have any idea you're sitting on, just get it out. get it out, just start, and everything will fall in place. I've seen that happen over and over again. So, till next week when we're out with a brand new episode, don't forget to keep taking your business. Bye for now.